What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Collider Interview Studio at TIFF 2024 at the Cinema Center. Brought to you by the Range Rover Sport. I'm sitting with the team behind Faithless. Huge congratulations on your show. It was a little problematic for me because they sent me all the episodes, but I have so much to screen. It was so hard to stop watching your show and actually watch other things that I have to do these interviews.
That's good.
I watched 2 episodes, incredibly well done. The 3 of you together are just like utter perfection.
Wow.
Thank you. I mean it. Clearly, I know what Faithless is, but because we are talking about a film festival premiere, our audience might need to be caught up. So who would like to do the honors and give a brief synopsis?
I can go, and you can compliment.
We can
yes,
yeah.
I mean, Faithless is based on an old Ingmar Bergman manuscript, and Thomas Alfredsson and Sarah Jonsson, the Norwegian writer, have turned into an amazing mini-series about relationships, envy, jealousy, betrayal, divorce, and
it was originally made as a feature that premiered at Cannes in 2000, I think. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
By Ullman. Yeah.
No pressure at all.
I think
why did I say that?
the whole thing, or the essence of it is how basically divorce and betrayal leaves everybody in a worse situation than before, and I think it's a
and how that resonates through their lives. I think the change in our Faithless compared to the original is that the original took place in one time, and it's an old man reminiscing on his life. Here you get to see the real world consequences, and especially in our children, because they too are
it's
probably
also
the most
about love
affected.
and like passion, and a huge part of the show is about forgiveness as well. So yeah.
Given the weight of the material that you all just highlighted, I am curious, what is the key to jumping into something like this? And you also just brought up that it is a different interpretation of the story, but given the history of it, what is the key to jumping in and I guess finding confidence that you could do it justice?
Well, I think as a Swedish actor, jumping into the world of Bergman is like quite terrifying and at the same time absolutely incredible. It's something that I was sad that I didn't get a chance to work with Bergman because, he passed in 2008. But to jump into this world that is, and with Thomas, who is such a legendary, incredible director, it can be a little bit overwhelming and terrifying. But I resonated so strongly with the material when they presented this at the Bergman Week. I was like, oh, I'm throwing my hat in the ring. I want to do this. I know that this is a project this is my thing. I'm Marianne and that's it. But yeah, it was a really big undertaking. I've likened this I do mountaineering, and I've likened this to the biggest mountain I've ever climbed. It's like, you get all the way up there and see the view, but it's a perilous journey, and it takes a big toll on you mentally and physically. And to quote Marianne, it's been quite a ride.
But then I think Thomas made it very easy for all of us to sort of work with him on set. He's a very, very actor-based or actor-focused director. He's very the whole plot is the show is more character-driven rather than plot-driven. So I think for all of us, we felt very, very at ease working with such an experienced and visionary director.
Yeah, collaborating with Thomas has definitely been the highlight of my career. I mean, he's extraordinary.
Oh, I don't blame you. I'll build on that a little bit just to highlight what he does on set as an actor's director to make him stand out. Can you each recall a time when he kind of gave you just what you needed in a scene, where his notes or him pushing you in a particular direction helped you crack something in your character?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, every day started with us gathering in the morning, and we had like pretty we had like table reads, but we also spoke to each other like months before we started filming, and then every morning just us, the actors, and Thomas, we had to sit down. So we all came in early before we got in, like, costume and makeup and all that. We just had to sit down with him and go through the day. And we sort of blocked the scenes, but
and then
just
after lunch we started filming.
Yeah, and just talked it through, and like so we were all on the same page. And he just and the way that he was always like asking us, what shot would you like to start with? This is what I have in mind. And like, what would you prefer in terms of like what sort of emotional state you're in that particular scene and so on. So he's always actors first. And that's so strange because he's like visually so strong as well. So he's the best.
Oh, what beautiful opportunities to have as actors too. I feel like I don't hear about that kind of part of the process happening very often.
I think one of the takeaways and the feedback we're getting and from everybody involved in the production is like Thomas is kind of like an old school director. Like he gives us the space to really prepare. He is working with a really flat hierarchy, like whoever has the best idea wins, and very prestigeless in that way. And I think that was not a shock, because I know he's a wonderful man, but to see somebody so open to really collaborating and listening to everybody. But I think the biggest takeaway for me is that he's such a true artist. He refuses to let go of anything that doesn't keep to the standard of the show. And it was wonderful to see him really fight to achieve the level that he really wanted at every single shot. And I think that resonates. It's like you look at it and it's visually so striking in anything from the close-ups to just a wide shot of a tree with the wind blowing through it. It's just mind-blowing how gorgeous it is. And that was his dedication to really telling the story in the best, strongest way possible as a real artist and a craftsman. I thought that was unparalleled.
Yeah, and it's always an original way that he brings a scene to life. He always finds something peculiar or special to make even the most mundane look interesting. So but I think the one thing that I really took away from his collaboration with him was that every morning when we came to set, I mean, he always said, "Hi, my friend." And it was such a nice sort of greeting, and every morning to hear that, "Hi, my friend." So yeah, we're friends. We can work together. That's okay.
I love that. It's such a simple thing, but that sets the tone in a really important way. So he's obviously a very important collaborator, but you three, again, working together, like, it feels to me like a story like this does not work unless those roles are kind of perfectly cast. So I'm curious for each of you, can you recall the very first time either in prep or on set that you kind of looked around at each other and said like, my God, we really are the right trio for this?
That's a good.
We had a table read, right? We had a quite a really nice table read early on with Thomas and Lena and Jesper and the three of us. And I think when we were reading it together, and after each episode we kind of stopped and we reflected on the material, and then I think after every episode we just looked at each other and we're like, can't believe it, and it felt very, very real and clear that it was going to be us, and it felt very natural.
Yeah, and also this is a great opportunity to just mention Kiki Lander, the costume designer. She really created these really iconic looking characters, and I had this sort of red suit that I wore.
The burgundy suit.
Yeah, the burgundy suit.
Every time you put that on, I was like, yes.
There here it is. And you have that, the striped pajamas and all that, and it's just like they look very iconic. The characters, I think, and the silhouettes of the characters are just like instantly recognizable.
But I actually have a really fun story. When we knew that we were going to do this, we met for coffee and we're like, let's sit down and work together on the script. And we sit there for like hours talking about it, and then I look up and Gustav is sitting underneath a portrait of Christer Henriksson, who played David in the original Faithless. And we were just that was such a universe just telling us that like we are right where we're supposed to be. And I thought that was just like we got some kind of little blessing from somewhere, and that was
big shoes.
Cool. Yeah.
Big shoes.
Meant to be. So that's the beginnings of knowing that you were right for the roles. I kind of want to jump into production now, and working together as scene partners too. Can you each recall a time when a scene partner did something for you that you really appreciated, and it helped you reach something in your own character that you might not have been able to without them?
I mean, we don't have that many scenes together, but I really enjoy what we found in our friendship on screen. But so having said that, like I would not have been able to do this without this woman. I mean, she's a great friend of mine, and we really went deep on this one, so I mean, every day was an experience like that, really carrying each other through the entire shoot in a very, very beautiful way.
Yeah, I mean, I have the pleasure of sharing two love stories with these two wonderful men, and quite different. And for me, towards the end of the shoot, we go into very, very heavy territory. There's a lot of very heavy subjects that we're dealing with, and Marianne takes quite a big toll, like an emotional and physical hit of all of the negative things that have happened. And we had a scene that was absolutely, and not to spoil anything, towards the end of the show that was very, very difficult to get through. And I was so thankful to have you, and that we've I feel like with both of you, we have this big trust for each other that we throw ourselves out there. And I always, every single day, I felt held by you, by Thomas, by Monica, our photographer, knowing, because you're quite exposed, especially for me. I'm quite exposed also physically. Marianne goes through a lot of things, and I felt so held that I can really, really stretch everything that I have and put that into this character, and to just, we had such an incredible crew too. I just really want to say that it was amazing to work on a set where people were quiet. People see the work that we do and it really resonates with them. And every day you can see like the boom operator with like a tear, because we're dealing with subjects that people have lived through, and it touches them, because everybody's been hurt or have hurt someone and have regrets over something they've done in their lives. And to just feel that sanctity, if I can use that word, on set was really powerful.
Ooh, what a beautiful quality to have there.
Yeah.
No, I think I would absolutely agree with everything you said. And the one thing I'll add is probably the girl who plays our daughter, Poppy Clintonberg Hardy, and she's I think she was kind of the glue that held everything together, because she has a strong relationship with David, with Marianne, and with Markus, obviously. And that was kind of like our connecting anchor. And I feel the same, like you said. We always were there for each other. Nobody had any sort of, what do you call it, diva moments. I think everybody was
Only
there for
you.
each other.
No.
Only me, of course. But that's okay. I'm allowed to have those. No, very, 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 very comfortable and safe environment to work in.
I was so impressed by the young actor who played your daughter. It was
Thomas is great at directing kids as well. So.
It was just one of those situations where someone just steps on screen and immediately lights it up with a natural screen presence that makes me as a viewer feel like I want to spend more time around you.
And that was something that we spoke about before and with Thomas, because Poppy, of course, she's not allowed to read the script. She knows almost what's happening, but I think that was another thing that I really want to highlight with Thomas and with this production, because at the end of the day, we're following this young girl and seeing her life being completely torn apart by the people she loves the most. And it's a very difficult theme. And the way that she was handled and the way that she felt really a part of, she was treated as a full-on, full-fledged cast member and given the same amount of respect and time to prepare and to really be a part of playing and creating and working this out was impressive. And I think that was a takeaway that I'll really cherish with me, was the way that she was allowed to really shine and be a part of the creative process.
I love that. Such an important thing for an actor first starting their career to get to experience too. Wanted to make sure to end on this particular question, because you were on Ladies Night before I started asking this, and now the show ends with this question every single time. And you mentioning the hi friend thing made me think of this, because in this business, I find that nobody tells themselves good job nearly enough. I want to know something each of you accomplished making Faithless that you know you'll always be able to look back on and say, I am so proud of what I did there.
You start. We're Swedish. We were not very good at doing stuff like that.
I feel like there isn't a single person on this planet who is good at that, like myself included. And that's why I've gotten into the habit of asking it all the time.
This is Bergman's most autobiographical script, and I think I pulled off playing a film director in a Bergman script directed by Thomas Alfredson in front of him, and I was very nervous about that. But I've seen it now, and I think I made it look sort of natural. I think so. That's
did,
one
yes.
thing I'm pretty
Yeah,
proud
agreed.
of.
Yeah, you
I
did.
will confirm
you
that
did.
as well.
And the
100%.
dance sequence as well. I was nervous as hell for that. So, yeah.
I go first. I think the one thing I'm the most proud of is that we managed to really create a family and a friendship, sort of a web of relationships that felt very natural, very real, and that to me all these connections were as they would be in real life, and to sort of have that sort of family structure set around you as an actor to know exactly who means what to me. I managed to do that in this project and with the help of you guys and Thomas, of course. But that's something I'm really proud of. It feels very, very organic?
I think for me coming into this, because I was such a big fan of Faithless, of Liv Ullman and of Bergman, of course, but also Lena Endre, who plays the original Marianne. And Lena is a good friend of mine. And I knew that I was doing this. The first person I called when I found out I was doing it was Lena. And this was before we knew Lena was on board to play older Marianne. So we celebrated with a glass of champagne. And
One glass of champagne.
only one. And I think for me, I was a bit terrified because I have so much respect for her and of the original material and the iconic part of Marianne, and something that I'm thankful for, and that I feel like I was able to shed that and really create my own Marianne, who to me is a living, breathing person who is inside me and will always be. And I'm really thankful for that, because it can be daunting going into such a strongly existing universe and to get your own spin on that. But I think I did. I did my own Marianne.
I will confirm you all did all that very, very well. Like, one of the coolest things when you're starting a new series is when, like, almost mere seconds after it begins, you immediately feel like the world is whole and you're enveloped in it, and you get excited for the opportunity to live with the characters for however many episodes. So really, that is how I felt watching episodes 1 and 2. I cannot congratulate you enough, and thank you so much for sharing some of your experience with us.
Thank you so much. Thank you.